One of the biggest storylines of the college football playoffs has been the absolute dominance of the Miami Hurricane defense. At all three levels, this is a team that has been able to play physical and outperform elite offenses in both Texas A&M and Ohio State. Their pass rush and front four are really the biggest reasons for this, and Akheem Mesidor is a player who has been wildly impactful all season long. In today's video, we're going to talk about Akheem Mesidor, what I like about him, what I don't like about him, and what I think he can bring to the NFL level. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It helps me out a ton and lets me know that you guys are enjoying the prospect spotlights. Leave a comment down below and let me know which prospects you guys want to see me talk about in a future episode, and without further ado, let's get into it. Akheem Mesidor started his college career at West Virginia all the way back in 2020, where he spent 2 seasons with the Mountaineers. From there, he transferred to Miami, where he has spent the last 4 seasons. He missed the 2023 season with an injury, but he was really good in 2022, finishing with 28 pressures and 8 sacks on the season, and the last 2 years has been a bit of a roller coaster. In 2024, there were a lot of ups and downs, but he still finished with 25 pressures and 4 sacks on the year, with 15 run stops and 17 tackles. He was on my radar after that 2023 season, but this year, he re-emerged and had a career year in his final college season. So far, Mesidor has 61 pressures, 11 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 24 tackles, and 24 run stops on the season, and many people are saying that he could sneak into the back half of the first round. I think the first thing that really sticks out to me about Mesidor is his ability to play up and down the line of scrimmage. Mesidor started his college career as a 3 technique. He played a lot of inside, interior defensive lineman, and he came in at around 280 pounds. He's had a complete body transformation, is down to around 260 now, and Miami now has him playing full-time edge rusher, where he primarily lines up over the tackle. But Miami still will utilize him as an interior player on passing downs, and I think his versatility to play both inside and outside and his ability to impact the game from any alignment are going to be very valuable at the NFL level. Another thing that really sticks out to me when watching Mesidor on tape are the overall movement skills. For a player that is a converted defensive tackle, Mesidor is a really impressive athlete. For one thing, I think he is one of the best lateral movers of any edge rushers in this draft class. I think his ability to move side to side, fill run gaps is fantastic, and I think Mesidor is one of the best run defending edge rushers in the draft class. Throughout his career, he has been a consistent tackler, but he is consistently in rushing lanes and there to meet ball carriers in the hole. But I also think that he has a great first step. His burst is phenomenal, and I think his overall speed and ability to challenge the outside shoulder of offensive tackles are very solid, and I think he is a guy that can weaponize his speed at the NFL level. I also think that Akheem Mesidor shows really good refinement with his hands. While I would like to see him potentially add 1 or 2 more counter moves, the move set that he does have now, I think are really effective. For one thing, I think he's really good at working inside, and I think of all of the edge rushers in this class, Mesidor has some of the best inside counter moves. He is consistently able to win inside leverage with his rip, but I also think he's got a really nasty 2-handed swipe that he is able to use. He is pretty strong, and I think he's got a nice ability to win with his hands at the NFL level that is going to be a valuable part of his game. While I like what Mesidor can do as both a run defender and what he can provide as a pass rusher, I do see some limitations and I do have some concerns about him at the next level. For one thing, Mesidor is going to be 25 years old on draft night. He is very old for a draft prospect, and when you're taking an older quarterback, that's one thing because a lot of it is mentals rather than physical traits. But if you're taking a defensive lineman, I have a hard time justifying taking a 25-year-old edge rusher in the top 32. Not only is he really old, but I also think that his measurables are going to be questionable. I think Mesidor is likely going to have sub 33-inch arms, And I think when you watch him on tape, the lack of length really does hurt him. For one, I don't think he is able to consistently win with a long arm, and because of having shorter arms, I think his overall power profile is very limited. He doesn't have a very strong enough bull rush, and I think a big part of this is, one, he plays out of control a lot, which we'll get to in a second, but two, offensive linemen are able to easily work into Mesidor's chest, and because of it, he gets held up on blocks. Those are two things that I really prioritize in edge rushers. Do you have good arm length, and can you win with power? And I don't think Mesidor really has either. Another thing that I do worry about is when a team was able to bring chip help, Mesidor was pretty neutralized. He didn't do a great job at getting off of blocks consistently, and he didn't consistently beat double teams, and that is something that I worry about. Akheem Mesidor also plays out of control at times. It showed up as a pass rusher a lot, and I thought there were a lot of instances where he played off balance, he ended up on the ground, or he had a very bad tendency to lunge, which are both things that are big no-nos for me for edge rushers. I have a hard time justifying the top 50 hype because of that, and while I think his technique could improve, he still is going to have short arms, and he is still going to be 25 years old on draft night. So how much upside do you really have in the tank? Akheem Mesidor has had a very strong season. I like what he can bring as a pass rusher. I think he's good with his hands. I think he's a really good run defender, and I think he has some decent athletic juice. However, the lack of length, the age, and some of the issues where he plays out of control and off balance are areas that I worry about. There's no denying that Mesidor has been one of the biggest stock up guys throughout the college football season, and I have him as my edge 10, and I have a top 75 grade on him as a prospect. In terms of a scheme fit, I think part of what makes Mesidor so good is his ability to fit any scheme. I like him best as a 4-3 defensive end where he's lined up primarily over the tackle. That's where he has done most of his work this season for Miami, and while they can't kick him inside on passing downs, I still think that's something NFL teams should be able to do. His ability to work inside of offensive linemen, set a hard edge in the run, and also win the outside shoulder with his two-hand swipe and overall speed, I think all can be weaponized in a 4-3 scheme, and I'd like to see that for him at the next level. My player comparison for Akheem Mesidor is New York Giants defensive lineman Chauncey Golston. Golston is a solid defensive lineman. I don't think he's anything special, but he is a guy that brings really good versatility. He plays all over the line of scrimmage, is a solid run defender for an edge rusher, and he can work inside as a pass rusher as he's got really good inside counter moves. He didn't get to showcase much this year in New York, but had a very productive season in 2024 for Dallas, and I think Mesidor has a similar build and a very similar skill set for the NFL. I do think Mesidor is a better version of what Golston is, but I see a very similar type of career. Akheem Mesidor is an animal. He brings great impact to both phases, has solid size, and has elite production. While he might not be the most powerful, and I think I could see his role being neutralized because of this at the NFL level, I still think he can be an impactful and effective end at the next level, and ultimately, I believe that Akheem Mesidor will be a top 75 pick in the 2026 NFL Draft.